Where is Borneo, Malaysia? Borneo is the third largest island in the world, a tropical jungle island set in South China Sea in Southeast Asia. Borneo is roughly the size of France or Texas. The island doesn't entirely belong to any one nation, but is divided between three countries: Indonesia, Malaysia, and Brunei. Borneo lies directly on the equator, nestled between the Philippines in the north, Indonesia to the east and the south, and Malaysia and Singapore to the west. Borneo's southern two-thirds is occupied by the Indonesian state of Kalimantan, a wild, densely jungled and undeveloped region. Borneo's northern third is inhabited by two of Malaysia's states of Sabah and Sarawak. The tiny Islamic nation of Brunei is wedged between Sabah and Sarawak, hugging Borneo's north coastline. So why is this Bornean rainforest so important? In terms of plant and animal species, the Bornean rainforests host the richest terrestrial ecosystem in the world. It is said that they are around 130 million years old, the oldest on the planet. By sequestering carbon, they are able to act as an important carbon sink and contribute to reducing the concentration of carbon in the atmosphere. They also serve to significantly buffer flooding, to maintain water quality, and to sustain local communities and indigenous people. People in Borneo value the rainforest for its spiritual value as well as for the services rendered by the ecosystem. People arrived in Borneo around 40,000 years ago, and for a long time their impact on Bornean forests was very limited. Historically, deforestation in Borneo was minimal due to infertile soils, an unfavourable climate, and the presence of disease. However, the first signs of deforestation clearly appeared about 1500 years ago. Deforestation started to accelerate with industrialization, and between 1980 and the year 2000, more roundwood was harvested from Borneo than from Africa and Amazon combined. Borneo has lost forest cover twice as fast as the rest of the world's humid tropical rainforests. Lowland forests below 500 meters above sea level and mangroves have suffered the most of this aggressive deforestation. Today, most of these habitats have been converted to other land types. Our recent studies have shown that between 1973 and 2010, a total area of 16.8 million hectares of rainforest in Borneo has been converted to other types of land uses. This is 4 times the size of Switzerland. Rather than slowing down, deforestation is accelerating, and more than 8 million hectares was lost between 2000 and 2010, accounting for 12% of its 2000 cover. What are the threats to the Malaysian rainforest? The leading reason for deforestation in Borneo is largely subsistence and agro-industrial agriculture. Subsistence agriculture mostly involves slash and burn practices from local communities. It requires low technology and is usually done on a rotation or shifting basis. Most crops will include rice, maize, vegetables. Agro-industrial crops include rubber and other industrial tree plantations, which is about 10% of the entire Borneo island. In 2010, 65,000 kilometers squared, twice the size of Belgium, was planted with oil palm, and 10,000 kilometers squared under industrial tree plantations, mostly rubber trees or acacias for the pulp and for paper industry. Much of the remaining forest will be logged and converted under present forest use designations. 42% of the intact forests fall under production forests and will be logged as the area of the forest that falls under exploitation is greater than protected forests. A further 16% of these intact forests will be converted. In this case, eventually, if all these plans are materialized, intact forest coverage of Borneo will only be 11%. Other causes for deforestation are also linked to human development and include mining for coal or for gold and other minerals, infrastructure development such as roads, and human settlements. What are the impacts of deforestation in Malaysia? The timber industry is responsible for about 40% of forest destruction. Commercial logging provides important income for many lower income countries. Also, large-scale damage is being done to forests that have sought after trees to be removed. Large-scale projects such as hydroelectric dams, subsistence farming, and development of towns and roads also has damaging impact. The removal of the forest causes loss of plant species and biodiversity of the rainforest. Animals are forced out as their food supply and habitat are destroyed. Many rainforest species have become extinct and others threatened. Without the trees, the water cycle is disrupted. Interception and transpiration are also reduced and surface runoff increases. Consequently, water and silt pour into the rivers, making them flood. The soil is easily eroded without the trees to protect it, and torrential rain removes nutrients via surface runoff and leaching, with the soil becoming infertile. Furthermore, surface runoff on steep slopes can cause gullying and mudslides. Deforestation can also lead to changes in the climate, as transpiration is reduced and evaporation increases. This leads to a drier climate. Deforestation contributes to global warming because trees use up carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. As a result of sea levels rising, and the world's climates could be affected. Indigenous communities are also greatly affected. They have great knowledge of the use of plants and animals in the forest, and many could be used in medicinal purposes for the development of new drugs, and their loss may have consequences in the future.